what we're doing is we're starting off a short unit on something called rational functions. And rational functions are just like those polynomials, so x squared, x plus 3, stuff like that, but in a fraction. Okay, so when we're doing this, we have to think about first something that we're going to see that showing up in a lot of instructions, and that's saying simplified, simplified. So when we were working through last chapter, when we saw the word simplified, that's when I told you, okay, go ahead and make sure that everything is added together, all your like terms subtracted, multiplied, divide, make sure you combine all your like terms, make sure there's nothing left you can do. Okay, so for this, we're also talking about simplified, but now we think about when are fractions simplified. So when we think about that question, the answer to when fractions are being simplified is when there's no more common factors. Okay? No more common factors in the top or in the bottom. Okay, so for each one of these examples then, what we need to think about is, are there more common factors? Well, then first, before you can know if there's more common factors or ones that are in the top and bottom, you have to think about, well, what are the factors? So far, the best way I think that we as a class have been able to come up with all the factors is to use our factor tree. Okay, so for each one of these examples, we're going to use a factor tree to see what type of stuff we can cancel out top and bottom. Okay, so let's look at this first one. 24 divided by 42. Okay, now when you see that, some of you want to put it in the calculator right away. Don't do that, okay? We're just going to use our factor tree to see what we can cancel out. Okay, so let's split up 24 into two factors. Well, a lot of you, hopefully I think, would have seen, well, 24, that's just going to be 2. So go ahead and split it up on your papers as well. Okay, 2 and 12. Well, if I were there in person, then I would say, okay, well, what else can you do? Okay, 2 is done, but how about 12? Can we split that up? Yeah. Okay, hopefully some of you are already thinking, well, 12 is 6 and 2. Okay, so 12 is 6 and 2. And what's 6? 6 is 2 and 3. Okay, so we were able to split up 24 into 2, 2, 3, and 2. Okay, so, and those are all the factors. And remember, we want to see what the common factors are, so we need to look at the bottom as well. Okay, well, the bottom, 42, is 7 and 6. This one's going to be a lot easier. Okay, so 42 is 7 and 6. Maybe you couldn't think of that right away. But 6 is just 2 and 3. Okay, so when we simplify, we need to get rid of all of the common factors, top and bottom. Okay, so let's look at what some of these common factors are. Well, when I look at the bottom, I see 7, 2, and 3. So let's look at some of those. Does 7 show up on top? Okay, does 7 show up on top? No, 7 is only on the bottom. Okay, so that's going to be at the bottom for us at the end too. Now 2, I see it on the top as well, so I'm going to cross out the 2 on the bottom, and let's cross out the 2 on the top. Okay, how about this 3? Well, this 3 on the bottom also crosses out with a 3 on the top. Okay, so let's just look at what's left at the end. This 12 got split up, so make sure you don't look at it. The 6 got split up, don't look at that either. All I have left are 2 and 2 on the top. Okay, so let's multiply them together. 2 times 2. And then what's left on the bottom? 7. And this 6 got split up already, so just 7. Okay, so your final answer then will just be 2 times 2. What's 2 times 2? 2 times 2 is 4, that's right. So you have 4 over 7. And that's your final answer for the first one. Okay, so think about what we did. Let's recap really quickly. 24 got split up. Okay, we looked at all of the factors of 24. 42 from the bottom also got split up. Looked at all of those factors as well. And then we had to think about what went into both the bottom, or what factors were on the bottom and the top. And for each number that was on the bottom, if it was on the top, we got to cross them out. Okay, and then after that, after everything else was crossed out, multiply what's left. Multiply what's left, and then you're done.